If you're anything like how I used to be, you've got stressed about the smallest of inconveniences and you let that compound over time, and then it really starts impacting on your day-to-day life. Things then start getting missed, your mood starts to change, your productivity really takes a hit, and you're genuinely just not enjoying life as much as you should have been. And again, all of this comes from maybe the slightest inconvenience, but you don't deal with it when it presents itself and you're not actively doing anything else to alleviate that stress, so it's naturally just going to get worse over time. Here's a few simple ways you can reduce your stress levels and get ahead of the curve and prevent it from getting a big deal. Number one is going to be physical activity. You can start off small with just walking if you're currently inactive and do nothing, but generally what you should be looking to do is more than what you're currently doing. If you're already going to the gym a lot and you're doing lots of exercise, then you're ticking this box off. But are you then actually going too far and setting the expectations of your physical activity too high? Are you getting then annoyed when you're not managing to make 5 gym sessions per week? Or are you just doing stuff that's not actually the most beneficial for where you're at currently? You also need to be cautious of choosing something that you're going to enjoy. This will help with continuing it long term. Number 2 is a balanced diet. If you're currently just surviving on ultra processed food and fast food, takeaways type things, then you're more likely to be stressed because you're not getting the necessary nutrients that your body needs to thrive. And no, I'm not going down a harsh, restrictive carnivore or keto type route with what I'm suggesting to you. I'm just saying include more whole foods into your diet. Reducing your sugar intake is naturally going to help because where you're at currently, it's affecting your mood and then your mental health is taking a hit as well. Start giving your body the nutrients it needs, the minerals, the vitamins, and the energy to then be able to do the physical activity I mentioned in the one before. Number 3 is reducing your screen time, i.e. what you're doing right now. But bear with me. Go onto your settings and find out what your daily average screen time is. Your simple task from this point forward is to try and reduce that week on week. Now, you're not going to be able to get it down massively and you might have to use your phone for your day-to-day activities, but there's a lot of time that it'll be broken down into those sections that is just useless scrolling time. We all need a bit every now and then just to get that fix of watching a video and having a laugh. I'm not saying completely eradicate that, but it doesn't need to be 45 minutes to an hour every single time. You are using a lot of your spare time there for very little return. Added to that screen time, the late night usage of it is actually then affecting your sleep, which is increasing your stress levels. Number 4 is practicing self-care. Allocate a small amount of your free time per week. Look into your weekly schedule and just pick a space. Time blocking is the biggest time saver you will find because you're now accountable for every single chunk of time in your week. Procrastination will then become a thing of the past because you're now being more disciplined with allocating your time. But it's key to make sure one of those chunks gets allocated to self-care. What this is completely dependent on your interests. Going for a walk, taking a bath, learning a new language, but really anything that you find joy in that takes you away from the day-to-day stresses. Make time for it. Number 5 is learning to say no. If you're always adding more and more to your calendar and you seem that you can't say no to a work event, a friend's invite to some social occasion or a family event, you're just going to keep adding to that stress. It's going to keep compounding because you're never actually freeing up any of your time to do things you enjoy. No one's ever going to be upset if you decline an invitation, if you give a good enough reason that you need time to yourself. If they do and they're not very understanding, then do you really need to be making time for this person anyway that's not prioritising your own well-being? The overwhelm you're feeling by having to always please other people is actually now negatively serving yourself. Be a bit selfish with your time and just say no to people. Now, with those 5 simple tips that you could implement as soon as this video is finished, you will start feeling less and less stress in your day-to-day life because you're now actually prioritising yourself. And if you think any of these tips are going to be helpful for yourself, then I'd really appreciate if you could like the video, subscribe to the channel because I'm going to be putting more content out like this, and give it a share. Share amongst your friends that you feel are stressed that could do with listening to those 5 key points and really start making positive changes in their life.